What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. We back with the boxing clinic. One time for the one time, and Jarrett Swift Hurd, just stopped Austin Trout in 10 rounds, and for people, let's start off here. People don't understand the stoppage. Austin Trout didn't have any base anymore, core or legs. From the chest on down, he was done. And when your fighter, can't defend himself, and every time he's getting hit, his legs is wobbling. He's running. He's not moving from corner to corner. Swift Hurd is punching him from corner to corner. It's time to stop the fight. He couldn't defend himself. He couldn't see. I think it was out of his right eye, and his other eye was starting to swell. So, for people that say, let him go out on his shield, it had to be stopped, in my opinion. And Austin Trout is one of my favorite guys in boxing, and it had to be stopped. He couldn't defend himself no more. He didn't have the legs. He ran out of steam, and people will point to his age, and that could be a factor. But Jarrett Swift Hurd did it to Tony Harrison, who was fairly young. I think he was with 100 strengths in his late 20s, 26, 27, 28. And that's how Jarrett Swift Hurd just fights. He's a slow starter. We got front runners in boxing, guys that's good in the first 1 through 6 rounds, Gamboa, Keith Thurman, and then the front runner, then they fade in the end. And we got guys that are workhorses. And I compare them to guys like Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, a football analogy. The more you feed the beast, the stronger the beast becomes. And that's exactly what Jarrett Swift Hurd is. His lack of amateur pedigree they talked about, really showed early on, and Trout took advantage of him squaring up, him crossing his feet, him not doing things orthodox, and him doing things awkward and making mistakes. But one thing you can say about Jarrett Swift Hurd, he's definitely an adjuster, and his corner definitely knows how to make in-fight adjustments. And, he just needs to learn how to cut the ring off, and I think he'd be good to go. And a little bit more head movement, a little bit more feints, just things you polish up on, things that guys with lengthy amateur backgrounds have that he doesn't have. So he's going to have to learn to fly. He's going to have to probably, bring some better sparring partners in and work on that, and maybe bring a consultant from the outside to work on that, just cutting the ring off. And that's just one of the most essential, basic things you could do in the sport of boxing. That's, definitely a lost art. People talk about body punching becoming a lost art. I think cutting the ring off is really the biggest lost art in boxing, because I think 97% of fighters can't cut the ring off if they have to. But Jarrett Swift Hurd, pressure, size, and power really wore down Austin Trout. And Trout boxed great early on, and it was just a thought in my mind, could he keep it up? And I seen slowly the tide was turning. When guys thought Trout was about to run off with the win, I seen the tide turning. I seen when Hurd was hitting him, Trout, was driving towards the ropes or getting off balance. And most people thought it was a balance thing. It was a strength and a power thing from Swift Hurd. He was just too strong, too big, and too powerful for Austin Trout. But Trout did some good things, showed he had the juice. I don't know where he goes from here, possibly retirement. I don't see him really having a future at 160 pounds. There's a lot of beast animals is up there. And for Hurd, I think, he went to the body some, and I think that kind of froze Austin Trout a little bit. I think he needs to work on a body attack a little bit more if he's not going to use his height and reach a lot. And work on cutting the ring off first. The jab is pretty good. Working on doubling and tripling the jab some more. I think he can work on there. Work on a little bit more head movement. Some of his head movement looks a little bit orchestrated. Maybe a jab to the body and commitment to the body, I think, is his biggest things. I think he can continue to rise to the top and beat anybody in his division just with improvements. And because he got the in-fight adjustments, he's the biggest junior middleweight out there now. Jamal Charlo's gone. It's funny that Jamal Charlo was the biggest junior middleweight out there, and he dropped the IBF, and Jarrett Hurd picked the IBF up, and he's the biggest junior middleweight now up there. They had him at 5'11", but I believe he's like 6'1". And, composure was another thing. Composure. Some guys get behind on the cards and feel they're getting outboxed, and they panic. They started to go for it. They started to do things stupid. They started to take chances and get peppered even more and possibly get knocked out. People talking about, well, Trout might get the knockout. And the reason that Trout wasn't able to get the knockout wasn't the power thing. It was a little bit of a power thing. It was a simple fact that Jarrett Swift Hurd never panicked. He kept his composure. He believed in his corner. He believed in what he was doing. And at the end of the day, the composure part that people very rarely look at in the sport and boxing showed up today. His composure really what kept him in the fight. him not panicking, him not wavering, him being unflappable, really kept him in the fight, man. And congratulations, definitely, protecting and keeping your belt is one of the hardest things to do in boxing, and getting other belts as well. And we got to give this dude credit, give Austin Trout credit, one of the good guys in boxing, and support him whatever he does in the future. But we out.